This is a warning to never use ChatGPT for your financial questions, because you might end up being misled. Number one, ChatGPT, unlike a financial advisor, does not have to pass the Series 6, the Series 7, and also the CFP board exam. Financial advisors have to get a 70 or above on these tests. ChatGPT, when asked these questions, got a 27. Not only that, but the fact is, all these exams, they're multiple choice. So ChatGPT essentially answers at random. Another fun fact is that when ChatGPT doesn't know the answer, it just chooses C. So like you and me, it will answer because it has to, not because it's right. Number two, ChatGPT does not have financial context on you. Now, you have two options here. One, you can either give it financial context, which is a terrible idea, and I'll explain why. Or two, it will give you misleading information that seems good for just about anyone, but for your financial context, probably doesn't make sense. Now, let me get back to why it's so important for you as a client to never give your financial data to ChatGPT to give it context. Because one, all that financial data will then be owned by the owners of ChatGPT, which would be OpenAI and Microsoft. Now, I don't like big tech, but I don't like big tech. And here's the other thing. In financial advisorship tests, like the Series 6 and the Series 7, they ask case studies where you give it financial context for a certain type of client, and then you have to answer based on that context what you should do. Well, here's the thing. Out of those questions, out of the 30 some odd questions that I asked it, which were case studies, it got 0 of them right. Here's the next thing. When I asked ChatGPT about the definition and how certain types of financial vehicles will affect you, your life, and your money, it frequently got them wrong. For example, question 13, a retirement planning question, something that has to do with whether or not someone is obligated to enroll in a mandatory provident fund. Well, it was not able to categorize whether or not this person actually had to. This is important because it could ruin someone's entire retirement plan. Now, why? A lot of these financial vehicles change with the times, and ChatGPT is not updated on those things, so it might mislead you when you ask it these questions. Finally, when a financial advisor gives you a plan, they have to take into account your emotional context. Are you, as a person, willing to save a lot of money so that you can actually invest in a house? Or do you not have enough so that type of strain on your finances will hurt you and your family in certain irrevocable ways? Like having to go back to your house and tell your kids you can't have 3 square meals a day because we're saving for this house and afterwards we'll be okay. Well, no, it doesn't take that into account. So when it gives you certain types of advice, blindly following it might ruin your life. You have to realize ChatGPT has been trained to give answers that sound correct, that are borderline fake news, but are correct enough that the common eye will say, yeah, that sounds about right. Well, that's not enough. You don't want to give your money and your whole entire financial life to someone that is just kind of right. So make the right decision and don't ask ChatGPT about your finances.